Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Tell me who you are. Tell me who you are. Tell me who you are. I'm just a student, sir. Tell me who
We're
you
just
are.
students.
I have a right to know who you are. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Democratic Congressman Bob Etheridge of North Carolina on the front pages of every major newspaper in the country after he confronted two college students who approached him and asked him a simple question. Etheridge's actions drawing strong criticism, some calling for him to be prosecuted for assault. And the result is that he is now running behind my next guest in his re-election bid this November. Joining us now is Renee Ellmers. She's run a very strong campaign, winning the Republican primary in May. And according to the latest polls, the Survey USA poll, she is now leading Etheridge 39 to 38%. She's a local nurse, a community activist, and among the 10 reasons listed on her website, which is reneeforcongress.com, she says she's a good candidate in part because she won't physically assault you until the third question. Renee Ellmers joins me now. Welcome to the show, Renee.
Hi, Lou. Good to be with you.
Well, I like your sense of humor, I got to tell you. Unless you're not kidding, unless you're going to wait at that third.
No, it's purely jest. Purely jest.
I also like the fact that you're a nurse, and because one of the things I truly believe is the healthcare professionals in this country, the doctors, the nurses, the technicians, don't get enough credit, don't make enough money. And that hasn't been any part, of course, of the discussion of health care in this country over the past year and a half, but that's what I believe. What do you think?
Well, that is exactly how my husband and I feel. My husband is a general surgeon, and really it was about a year ago that we started going out and speaking against President Obama's plan for a health care bill. We wanted people, Americans and North Carolinians, to know that doctors and nurses are not on board with it. Never were. And, that was the game that they were playing. In fact, Congressman Etheridge was quoted as saying, doctors and nurses are overwhelmingly on board with this. And that was not true, and we knew it not to be true, and we felt strongly enough that we went and started speaking out at healthcare rallies and other town halls and tea parties.
Well, good for you. Let's turn to this race. Bob Etheridge showed a side that I think most people had never seen. That angry, nasty, and frankly violent side. Did that shock you? Did it surprise you? Your neighbors, your friends in North Carolina?
Well, it did, and I will say that, certainly who would have expected him to react so abruptly to that question that was posed to him, especially when he votes with Barack Obama 97% of the time. So, you're kind of surprised by that. But I will say this, he is known here in North Carolina, especially in District 2, as a very nice gentleman. And that is pretty much how people regard him. However, last year during the town hall meetings for health care, we saw that side of him. When he was questioned and could not come up with an answer or regurgitate a rehearsed answer, and it wasn't good enough, and he was pursued, that angry side of him does come out.
Yeah, and we're finding that, by the way, with a number of incumbents around the country. Another incumbent who was just beaten by Congressman Joe Sestak in the Democratic primary for the Senate, Arlen Specter. I mean, I will never forget that nasty look he gave a constituent just because she chose to ask him a question. The sense of entitlement among our elected officials is pretty strong, don't you think?
Absolutely. I think this situation with Congressman Etheridge is yet another example of the arrogance that exists in Washington, of how dare you question my thinking and my vote record. You are supposed to do what I tell you, and I'm going to come back and tell you why you're going to like it. And that's not working for Congressman Etheridge.
Well, what has been the reaction to you since the Etheridge confrontation? What is the reaction of the folks in the second district there in North Carolina?
Well, certainly, I have just seen overwhelming support. In fact, I've seen overwhelming support from across the country. We've received letters from people, California, New York, everywhere, Texas. I could just go on, and and it's people sending in what little bit of money they think that they can help with, maybe $10, $11 donations with notes saying, please fight for against this health care bill. Try hard to get into Washington. We need people like you, and fight against Bob Etheridge. We need to get people like him out of Washington. It has been overwhelming. You mentioned our website. I encourage people to go to our website, ReneeForCongress.com, and
that's spelled
about the issues.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that ReneeForCongress.com, it's spelled RENEE, Renee for Congress.com.
That's correct.
And so what is your strategy going forward?
Well, basically, we are going to keep on the same message that we have had, which is pointing out Congressman Etheridge's voting history. He has voted for cap and trade. He has voted for health care. He's a proponent of card check. He continues to vote outside of what the conservative people of District 2, North Carolina, believe. And he continuously does this, and then, again, comes home and tries to tell us why we should all be on board with it. And, when we move forward, it's just those actions. I want to go to Washington to serve the people. Congressman Etheridge is one of those that feels that he's going to do what he's going to do, and then we're all just going to learn to live with it.
And at this point, is there a sense of any shift on the part of the newspapers, the news organizations? Have you picked up any endorsements as a result of the confrontation between the congressman and those young students?
I would say that I have not necessarily received any endorsements outright, but the tone has definitely changed. Prior to this incident, it was well thought that Congressman Etheridge really wasn't vulnerable. Now you're starting to see some backtracking of some writings, some journalists, reflecting on how, he was vulnerable because of his health care vote. That seems to be the thing that has hurt him the most. And it's interesting, too, because I think that's, when I talk to people here in District 2, that's how they've been feeling, and now it's resonated to the media side.
All right. Well, Renee, we really wish you a lot of luck. Renee Ellmers, her website is reneeforcongress.com. That's RENEE for Congress.com. Renee, thanks a lot, and come back and let's talk.
Great. I would love to. Thank you so much.
All right. All the best, Renee.